Hi, I'm going to talk to you about my grandmother. Her name is Grace Vann Brannon. She was born named Grace Vann. Her parents were Richard Samuel Vann and Emma Kate Solomon. Her daddy was 14 years older than her mother, just like my husband, Larry, is 14 years older than me, so I think that's kind of a fun story. She had 4 brothers and 4 sisters, so they had a very large family, 9 children. And Nana was the 4th child in her family. So she was one of the older ones, and she said she grew up and always had a baby on her hip. She always helped her mother take care of the younger children. We called this lady Nana, and we called her mother, who was my great-grandmother, Graham Vann. Graham with an M, Graham. Nana was a wonderful person. She was my father's mother, and my father had 2 brothers, so Nana only had boys. She had 3 sons. And when my older sister Betsy was born, that was the first grandchild for both of my sets of grandparents. And they were both really, really happy to have Betsy when she was born, especially my Nana, because it was a baby girl. Nana was very excited about having a grandbaby and a grandbaby girl. Nana was born and raised in Headland, Alabama, which is a tiny little town in South Alabama. And she was the perfect Southern lady. She knew how to keep a perfectly clean house. She knew how to cook perfectly delicious food. And she was a great conversationalist. So if you ever went to her house, you felt so welcome, and she would always talk to you and have a wonderful conversation. I was kind of a shy child, and when people would come visit, everyone loved my Nana, and so she had lots and lots of company. So when people would come visit, my Nana would want me to be conversating with the company, and I would be a little bit shy and not want to talk. She always wanted us to stand up when company walked in, and she would say, "Julie, when Mary Charles comes in, you stand up and you welcome her and you talk to her about what's going on in your life. You tell her about what's happening at school, and you ask Mary Charles what's going on in her life." That was a little bit hard for me because I was kind of bashful. But I learned from my Nana to be kind to people and smile and talk to them. I also learned how to clean very well, how to do laundry. My mama was sick with multiple sclerosis, and so mama taught us a lot of things, but because she was in a wheelchair or in the hospital bed, my mama couldn't teach us how to do a lot of the things like Nana could teach us. So Nana taught us how to clean the house really well and how to cook some really good food. So some of the recipes that I still cook today, I learned from my Nana. Nana also taught us how to set a really pretty table. Nana's dinners were very delicious, her meals were very delicious, but her tables also always looked really, really pretty. And that was another thing I learned from my sweet Nana. Nana lived a really long life. She lived until she was almost 98 years old. She passed away about 2 months before she turned 98. So she was 97 when she died, and she was still at home. One of her sons moved into her house. My uncle Sam lived with her the last few months of her life so she could stay at home in her house until she died. She was a wonderful woman, and I feel very thankful to have had her for my grandmother.